All right, welcome back to the Teardrop Backup, two-finger backup series. This is video number 3. Thanks for staying with me. If you haven't checked out the first two, I strongly suggest you doing that because we're kind of building a whole kind of repertoire of ideas and that has a common theme with them. Today, however, we're going to get into, well, it still has that same thing, but we're going to get into something that you might not have seen in other instructional materials, and that is the mysteriously all of a sudden you see professional players connecting other chords besides just the bar chord. So specifically, we're going to talk about the D position. All right, so here's that one measure pattern again. All right, so if I play it in G here at the 12th fret, it's okay, go up 5 frets, and it's your C. However, instead of the 12th fret, if you think about switching to the D position, right? Let's go to that. You got your bar position, excuse me, your F position here, and then all the way up here, where you start to sound like dog whistles. You might hear your dog growling at you. You've got your D position again, which is the same thing as what you have here. Up 12 frets. All right, so that's at the 20th and 21st fret. And guess what? That one measure pattern still works. So here's what it sounds like. Okay, and if you've got a long string of G, you could do that one. You could do the same pattern at the F position and back down to the bar position. So it sounds something like this. And then you can start going into other things from there. All right, so that's just the idea, is that was still the same right hand pattern. You can get that ingrained in your brain. You'll start to see these doors opening up and going, oh, wait a minute, this stuff's not so hard. Each lick doesn't sit on its own island. It all kind of has a common theme here. All right, so the next idea is to take one measure at the bar position. Well, let's do the C chord here. One measure at the bar position, and then slide down and do one measure at the D position. All right, so it's kind of the alternative from going, instead of going to the 7th, because 7ths don't work in every single song. So it would sound something like this. Okay, works for D as well. So it's just a nice way to transition. It's different than the 7th. So you're starting high and then going low. So if you've got 2 measures of the same chord, you do the first measure at the bar position and then slide down and do one measure at the D position. All right, now I want to stray a little bit now. I want to go back to the 7th variation. I think it was 7th variation number 2, which is the same right hand position. I don't know if you realize that, but the last 2 notes we actually started sliding and went to the 7th position. So here's the tab for it, but here's what it sounded like in G, going to the G7, then going to the C, sounded like this. We're going to be doing that same exact idea, except we're going to be staying in, let's just say C here, but we're going to start low and then go high. Whereas before we started at the bar, went down to the D position. We're going to start at the D position and then work our way up. See if you can relate to it down the neck when you're playing something in C. That position. Okay, we're mirroring that up the neck, but we're still doing that kind of one measure teardrop pattern we talked about. Okay, so here's what it sounds like. Okay, which is a good alternative when the C7th doesn't always work, like what we were showing before. Sometimes C7 doesn't go so well in the song. So this gives you a couple other options. One option is to how to do that, this one we're talking about here. over. We're doing some cool stuff connecting things together, but it's the same thing on the right hand. All right, and then your other choice that I mentioned earlier was starting at the it's just the bar, and then back it down to the D. Okay, that sounds good. And then you can come up with your own stuff as well, but hopefully that's opening some doors, giving you food for thought, and you can start making the connections instead of me having to give you each lick one at a time. All right. So let's put together a few ideas here that we've talked about over the first 3 videos, and then we'll see what we've got left to do for the next one. That was so long I forgot what I'd already done. I normally wouldn't play that much on one song. Usually you only kind of save this for half of a verse. When somebody's singing, usually goes in a vocal number, you usually kind of take this idea and do it for usually the last half of a verse, sometimes the first half of the verse. Chorus would work too, but usually if it's a trio singing, you want the emphasis to be on the harmony of it. So I don't usually do that. Plus most of the time I'm singing harmony, and I can't do this and sing at the same time. I can do a few things and sing, but this is not one of them. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll do some more next time.